like for you? Has it been crazy? Is it running, or have you had a chance to kind of decompress and take an overall look at the program?
I think it's been a little bit of everything. You know, there's certainly been hectic times and a big push to try to do as much as we can, as fast as we can. But I think we've really done a good job as a staff of also making sure we're taking time for the right things and spending enough time on relationships, getting to know people, understanding how to do things really the right way at Clemson and to be effective so that we don't waste time.
As a new coach, I'm sure you've got a laundry list of items. This is what we have to get accomplished before the season starts. But maybe what was one or two things that you said, this has to be done, we need to get through this before the season starts?
Well, I think there was a lot of discovery in that. You know, certainly recruiting is always a priority, you know, so besides that relationship piece of really trying to build those bonds with our current team, be really objective in assessing what do we need, what do we lack that can only be brought to the program through new players. And so certainly a big emphasis on just looking at strengths and weaknesses, you know, looking at immediate needs, looking at 3-year plans, and you know, just where do we want to be in the future, what are we going to recruit towards, and then what are the things that are the most important at our university in terms of a student athlete. What do you have to be a great student at Clemson University? So a lot of discovery along those lines. And the benefit of our position is there's so many people around us who are doing it exceptionally well. You know, so many established programs and coaches that have done an outstanding job of attracting not only great ball players in their respective sports, but the type of student that excels here and the type of person that fits into the Clemson family really well.
You obviously have some great recruiting relationships from your time at Florida. How does it change being at Clemson? Do you just go back into those same doors, or is it different being at a Florida and a Clemson?
Well, I tell you, one of the big advantages, certainly my time at Florida lended a lot of new relationships and connections in the Southeast and recruiting to the Southeastern Conference. But my time at Charlotte and living in North Carolina and relationships and bonds that were established during my time there have also been really, really critical in reestablishing our recruiting base here, trying to create a footprint. You know, and we've said from the very beginning we wanted to guard our yard. We want local kids to want to come to Clemson. So all of that has, you know, been just really fun. It's been really neat. It's been a warm welcome from all the coaches, the summer coaches, the AAU coaches, the high school coaches in this area, and it's been really enjoyable to reconnect with different colors on.
Amanda, when it comes to recruiting, how do you, as a new coach, no history here, how do you sell that vision to a recruit as you go into their home, and what do you tell them about Clemson as you're learning yourself?
Well, I think there's an opportunity whenever there's something new to be part of something new, to establish something, to create a new era, and to put your own fingerprints and stamp on a program. And so I think great competitors are often compelled with that vision. The easy part of recruiting, if there is an easy part of recruiting, is this university is tremendous. The alumni here, the Clemson family, the vibe on campus when we bring kids to a volleyball game and they go in Jervy and it is just sold out and crazy in there. The vibe on a football weekend of all the folks that are here tailgating, those things really sell themselves. And so I think the vision in terms of our specific program is this is a place we know we can win. It's been done before. It's been proven we can win ACC championships at Clemson University. It's just a matter of the right who's. You know, who are the people that want to come in and have the confidence and the guts to do something for the reestablishing something that's not already just kind of up and running. And so those are the type of competitors and the type of families that we're looking for.
Another question is on your team itself. A lot of coaches like to describe their team as a brand. What would you brand your style of basketball like?
My style as a coach, I would say it's just, you know, it's aggressive. We want to be really good through our toughness. We want to be really good through our relationships and the way that we're connected as a group of people. And, you know, and that's what we're going to make the game about. We're going to try to make our competitions about the things that we think make our group of women special. And so my ideas about basketball are kind of secondary to what are their strengths. And how can we showcase those strengths? How can we set them up for success based on what we know that the competition is going to be like, in particular in our league?
How much does the opportunity to play in the ACC help you with recruiting, and how much challenge does that schedule present you?
Well, it's a challenge. There's no question about that. But kind of going back to what I said earlier, when you're looking to start something new, when you're embarking on establishing a new era, and you're looking for a certain type of competitor, we want the type of competitor that's really interested in being in the best league, that's really interested in finding out how good am I, excuse me, measured against the best in the country. And, and that was the ACC coming off of last year with the national champion, half of the Final Four coming from our league, and the leading RPI team in league in the country. So those are, the people that we want to attract to Clemson. They're going to be excited about those opportunities and those challenges, not necessarily where Clemson finished last year or what Clemson's done over the last 5 or 10 years, but what can I bring to Clemson, and what does it mean to compete in the ACC, especially if it's someone who has professional aspirations on the basketball court.
And not only do you have the ACC, but you've got Dawn down the road, and she's built a national power. You're used to going head-to-head with her. Does the dynamic change at all?
I don't think so. I mean, I've got great respect for Dawn and her staff and what she's done there, and I think it's really just a huge benefit for us, because the thing that they've done is made women's basketball, girls basketball in South Carolina more important than it ever has been. And so I think we're going to be the benefactor of that some. It's just our job now to compete and to try to close the gap between what they've done and where they are and where we are.
Do you go into it saying, obviously you're not going to compete against Dawn and some of these other schools right away, but when you put together your plan, you say 3 years is where we want to kind of get to that level to where we're going head-to-head with the same recruits and beating them on the floor?
Well, I kind of, jump back at you and say, we do want to compete with those people right away. I think that competing well is what we're really focused on right now as a staff and as a team. We're not going to go into any game this year, and we have a really challenging schedule this year, even outside of the ACC schedule. We're not going into any game thinking it'll be okay if we lose this one. We're going to go into every single game hoping to put our best foot forward and compete like champions and hope that the result ends up in a way that favors us. And that's the same way we're approaching recruiting as well. If someone says, no, I'm not interested, okay, we'll move on to the next person. But we're going to identify people that we think fit really well with our culture, with the Clemson culture, and with our university, and pursue them, with a lot of passion and with that really clarity around that vision, and see where it lands. But we're not going to back down.
Who are a couple players you're